Oh man, oh man, oh man. What's going on, everyone? What's going on? You're now tuned into episode 2 of Husband Talk. Husband Talk. Man, here on the Got What You Need Network. Got What You Need Network, man. It's my second episode of Husband Talk, man. And today is going to be probably one of my, since, it's only episode 2. So one of my starting, community, like, it's going to be one of those episodes that's going to dive into just one topic, and we're going to discuss different variations within that topic, but it's just going to be about one topic. And I think the reason is, and I know people who've seen episode 1 and it was wondering, like, what is this show about? Once again, if you followed me on TikTok or, Facebook or Instagram, I've done little bits of this show. And I've done it from a standpoint of, just, little tidbits, what I'm saying, when I'm doing things with my family and stuff like that. So I wanted to turn this into a full-fledged, discussion piece show. And I felt like doing this, I should do it with, and from my standpoint as a husband for going on 11 years, with my wife for a total of 16 years, a father of 3, just a man. Like, I think it's not enough conversation out there with just, discussions. I personally don't think it's a lot of discussions based on so many different variations. And everything is around, how we should be chasing the bag and don't worry about women, or how we should do this or do that. And it's never from just the standpoint of just being within relationship. I've seen older people tell younger people, don't get married. It's not beneficial to you. And, based on a lot of Western standards, I could see why some younger people think that, because depending on what your finances are and how things are, you could lose a lot financially. But I also think we as men need to do a better job of vetting the people that we decide to be with, the people we decide to give our seed to, and we need to also do a better job of vetting ourselves, And the best way to vet yourself is to know yourself, you know what I'm saying, and be able to communicate that. That's what this topic is today on today's show. It's about communication, okay? And so many different levels of communication that you can do, but to me, direct communication has always been the best. And but you got to understand yourself, you know what I'm saying? And that, the first thing is, especially with long-term relationships, expressing emotion. I know people say all the time, don't express your emotion to women because they're going to throw it back in your face. Once again, that's vetting the people or the person that you're going to that you plan to spend a lifetime with. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you're expressing your emotions, you want to know how you can effectively communicate your feelings without feeling vulnerable or misunderstood. And in my book, that's direct communication, direct understanding. Once you, not going to say train, but once you create a level of communication with the person that you're with and understanding, you guys will have that person will understand where you're coming from. You have to be emotionally intelligent yourself before you expect others to understand your emotions. You know what I'm saying? So knowing how to communicate how you feel about things, knowing how to communicate that, hey, that's a boundary that you're overstepping and I'm not a fan of, without raising your voice, without doing things. And if that other person does raise their voice or feel like you're coming at them, you know how to communicate, hey, I want you to better understand that I'm not coming at you, but I'm telling you, the best way, how I feel about what is going on here and how I want to be treated. If they don't understand that, that's within the vetting process. We got to learn to walk away from things. We have to learn to walk away. You know what I'm saying? That's, once again, vetting the people that we plan on spending a significant amount of time with, and also being emotionally intelligent within that process. I'm telling you, man. I've learned that. I've learned that the hard way because I wasn't always emotionally intelligent, and I wasn't always good at communication. When things happen, I shut down, and I kept things to myself, like most men. But then you find yourself in a long term situation, and it's a one sided thing. It's all about how they feel, how they want to be treated, and you're never being treated the way you also want to be treated, and you're not receiving the same in return that you want. You know what I mean? So we have to be you know emotionally intelligent when it comes to communication. Same thing with just being an active listener. You know what I'm saying? We have to be strategic in what we do, and as well as we want to communicate, but want to be active in listening to what our partner is also saying to us. But that's also going to vetting as well, because you're not only listening and actively listening and trying to understand or understanding what their thoughts are, feelings are, because they're also doing the same thing to you. You're also listening for certain nuanced cues within that conversation. You know, is he or she, well, once again, it's a husband talk. Is she communicating only her feelings and not listening to anything that you have to say? Is she not holding herself accountable or have no accountability within the conversation? He or she is providing you. You know what I mean? Is she just talking to talk, but not talking to also listen to how you feel about things? You know what I'm saying? Listening, it can help in so many ways, being an actor, because that's part of communication. You can't just communicate and not listen. And being active in listening, once again, helps you vet, but also helps you better understand where your partner is coming from, how your partner is feeling about this particular subject and topic that you're going through, how your partner hopefully how your partner wants to understand your feelings and where you're coming from your communication that you had previously. You know what I'm saying? But that also goes into nonverbal communication. Being an active listener, having nonverbal cues. You know what I mean? Like I can say my wife and I have a lot of nonverbal communication. It could just her and I in a certain setting with others, and I know what she's saying by the way she look at me and twitch her eye or move her cheek or something like that. I already know what she's talking about. I already know what she want me to cue in on. Just even within our relationship when we having issues, or she may not be happy with something, I catch on to those things very quickly. And hey, you good? What's going on? Well, nothing. No, I know. I know when something's going on when you do this. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with her. She can catch on when I'm in a funk. And I can tell her at this point in time, I'm in a funk. It's not about you. It's not about the kids. I'm just really in a small little funk. I'll be good. I'm gonna step off into my office or into the studio real quick, just for a moment, which my office is the studio as well, for a moment, and then I should be good soon. The same thing her. She'll be like, "Hey, I'm in the funk. It ain't about you or the boys. I'm just I'm gonna be in a room for a little while chilling. I'm gonna jump on this, jump on my phone, type some stuff. I'm gonna read this book, but just kind of giving each other that space because we're still human, man. I think a lot of times, a lot of us expect people to be a certain way all the time, and we gotta remember we're human, man. Like sometimes we just need a moment. We need a moment of clarity, a moment of thought, a moment to just like, hey, I need to figure some things out because I'm not in a proper headspace. And I think a lot of times, a lot of us overlook those things from our partners. I do my best not to. I try to be as attentive to my partner as my partner is attentive to me as well. That also helps, man. That just helps. Just, it can sound redundant because a lot of us do those things, or we think we do those things, and then we miss out on a lot of that stuff, man. And like for me, like right now, I'm communicating you guys, and yes, I have some notes, but everything is just thought process, thinking about the things that I've done over my 16 years with this woman or other relationships that I've been in. You know what I'm saying? This is the longest relationship I've been in. I'm 43 years old and being with someone for 16 years, that's a great piece of your life. And then being with someone married in a union with someone for almost 11 years, once again, that's a great piece of my life. And I've been married before. This is my second marriage. My first marriage didn't last super long. And the reason why it didn't last super long was all the things that we did not do. We did not communicate well. We were never really on the same page. Certain things was just like left out in the open. It was an elephant in every corner. It was never fixing those issues or never addressing those issues. It was just, hey, it happened, we dealt with it, and we keep it moving until the next issue. And that's never good, man. I realize that's never good. That's not a way that you want to be. You're just walking on eggshells. So eventually it came to a point where it was like, you know what? It's a wrap. It's no needed. It's too much verbal and emotional abuse from each side. Yes, we got together young as kids, but it's still like, why do it if neither one was really ready? Like, I wasn't ready to get married. I don't know why I did that shit. I know she wasn't ready to get married. I don't know why she accepted it. You know what I mean? And that is the problem. You know what I mean? That's the problem, man. Not communicating. We'd had no emotional intelligence. We didn't understand no nonverbal cues. It was no active listening whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And there was no setting boundaries. And that's the next part, setting boundaries. I think for my wife and I, we're still working on setting boundaries, but our setting boundaries is more or less for our children, because our kids feel like, hey, they could come everywhere that we are, come in any place that we are sitting, and we are now winging them off the fact that sometimes mommy and daddy need some time alone. Mommy and daddy need some time, just by ourselves. We always spend a ton of time with them, but some days we like, I don't, like in my office, I have a sign on the door when it's red, leave me alone. I'm in here working or I'm not working, but either way it go, let me be. You know what I'm saying? My wife, when she's in the room with her door closed and she's working out in the room, that's her personal time. Leave her alone. She on we got like a treadmill that she uses. When she's on her treadmill, leave her alone. That's her personal time. So we're starting to establish boundaries, but man, setting boundaries is I think this generation today understands that a lot more than my generation did and the generation prior to mine. I do think they overuse that term and overuse the process of setting boundaries, but I also think they've done it the best because they understand that you need to set some type of tone when it comes to how we're going to do things. This is not, I'm not comfortable with this. You know what I mean? You're not comfortable with that. So I know that you're not comfortable with that. So I will do my best. I won't say I won't, but I will do my best to not, obstruct that boundary that you have, as well as I hope you do the same. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta set boundaries, man. I think, in communication, personal boundaries is a clear definition of how I want to be treated or what I am expecting from this. If we don't have a clear understanding of expectations, processes, and what we're going to do here, all we doing is walking around and we just kicking on things that we know we don't like. Or I know a lot of men that just accept certain things that they just hate. They hate, but they accept it because they feel like, I'm a man, I got to accept certain things. No, you don't. Yes, I'm a man, and some things I do accept, but I'm not accepting everything. If I had a boundary about it, I expect my partner to understand my boundary, and please do not shit on my boundary. You know what I mean? Like that means a lot, man. Sometimes you just realize like certain aspects of things need to be established and it needs to be understood, in discussion. I think a lot of us, especially now, I think we do. I don't know. Because I don't think I did when my wife and I got together, and that's discussing our expectations of one another. We never discuss any expectations of one another. What I'm expecting you to do, what you expect me to do. We just kind of went with the flow. But I also think over time we built expectations that we expect from one another. But I think you should discuss those things. Especially if you're gonna move in with one another. If you're gonna move in with each other, we need to establish some expectations, some rules of conduct or something on how we're gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect anyone to move in with me like when my wife moved in. I told her, I said, hey, take your time, figure out what you want to do. I know you're new to the area. These bills in here, it's gonna get paid regardless. I gotta pay them. So you can be here. I'm still gonna pay them. I'm not asking you for anything. I know you have to establish yourself. Once she established herself and found a job and different things like that, she felt a need to contribute. Then it was like, hey, what do you need me to do? Look, I'm paying the rent. Pay this light bill if you don't mind. That'd be one thing that could just be taken off my bill, off my plate. I respect that. Like, you're doing that. You're taking off a piece that's that's helpful. Like I appreciate that. Like, that's something that you decided that you want to do, and then over time, she accumulated her own bills as well as I, and we share some bills, different things of that nature. I know people talk this 50-50 thing. Is weird to me, but 50-50 or the man pays everything. I don't understand all this conversation. I think when you're living amongst each other, we all have responsibilities and we all contribute to those responsibilities. You know what I mean? But I truly don't think we ever discussed the expectation. I still don't think we've ever discussed the expectation of what one another should do. And I think I might ask my wife that. I'm a pin this one, and I'm gonna come back on another episode. But I don't think we've ever discussed expectations. I just know we fell into a role, and then we started doing things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like certain things around the house, if myself and the boys should do. You know what I'm saying? The boys take out the trash throughout the house. We have a 2-story house, so they take out the trash from upstairs and downstairs, and they come into my office and take the trash out. The boys wash the dishes. Well, Sean, he washes the dishes, our oldest, and sometimes I do wash them as well. Every now and again, the wife will jump in there and she'll wash them, but I feel like she does the bulk of the cooking. So if she does the cooking, what does she wash the dishes for? She shouldn't even touch the dish. Y'all wash them. Myself or the boys. All yard work, car maintenance, all of that stuff is done by me. Once again, she does the bulk of the cooking. She washes the clothes. She does those things. No one never said that that's what you do. I've washed my own clothes, but she does it. She jumped in there and said, that's what I'm going to do. So if that's what you're doing, she know I'm taking care of the cars. Any car issue, I handle car washing, car cleaning, anything in the vehicles, the yard, any maintenance on the yard, I handle and pay for. Any electronic issues, I'm the tech computer. I purchase all the computers for everyone. I pay for the highest package on the internet, different things of that nature I do. You know what I mean? Once again, my wife does the bulk of the cooking. She does the bulk of the cleaning as well. You know what I mean? She don't really clean bathrooms like that, like toilets. I do those. That's just something I've always done, so I do them. So to me, it's shared responsibilities within our home or within anything that you do. So when these people talk 50-50 and all men don't want to be men or women don't want to be women, they don't want to do what their grandparents did and stuff like this is a new time. This is new territory for a lot of us. Just do what y'all expect each other to do. And the only way you could do that is discussing your expectations. You know what I'm saying? I think last on the topic list, and it'll be for this episode, last on the topic list would be handling stressful communication. Say conversations. I mean, just handling stressful. And y'all know what those stressful conversations are, man. Can't handle, multiple, it's someone is spending too much. It's a lot of spending, not attention to detail when it comes to paying bills or, you know what I mean? You want to take a vacation, but the other is always shitting on taking vacations, or the kids need, a level of discipline, and it's falling on one person to discipline when everybody should be, or we just don't fucking get along right now. That happens, man. That happens where you fall into a time where y'all just don't get along. I'm not feeling you. You not feeling me. And I'm tired of this shit. Or I'm not even tired of the relationship, but I'm tired of you. You know what I'm saying? And you tired of me. It just is that can be some of the most strenuous times within a relationship when everybody is on some I don't want to do this shit no more, or I'm tired of this shit, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. You gotta, I think you both gotta figure out the bigger picture. Because within any relationship or anything long term, you're gonna run into pitfalls and holes and issues. And are you just gonna give up on the first hint of problems? I would hope not. I would hope, especially once you're married, it's like, I would hope not. I hope you would just come together and be like, you know what, right now we got some issues. Let's figure this issue out and let's get to an understanding. I would hope that's what you would do. I would hope that you both will understand, like, hey, shit ain't right now. You know what I mean? And then boom, y'all start to establish those different trainings that you put in place for this to happen. Like stressful conversations will never be a time that you won't have it. It just won't. It will never be a time that you won't have it. It won't never be a time that it won't come up. Once again, my wife and I have been together for 16 years in total, and we have stressful conversations every now and again. Sometimes you don't feel good about the conversation that you just had. Sometimes you need that person to be like, shine a light on you and what's going on so you can hold some level of accountability for what you're doing. Or you may need that person to be like, hey, we good. Like my wife said that recently to me. I was stressing about some stuff and she's like, hey, bro, we good. Well, she didn't say bro, that's not what we do. But she was like, hey, we good. We good, Sean. And I was like, yeah, she right. We are good. Why am I stressing about this? Why am I having a moment, or why this has been taking up, space within my mental, like, you got to figure that out. So, we could discuss a lot. We can keep going on. The purpose of this show is not to be long. It's not to be short. It's to be informational. Once again, my name is LaShawn Jones, and this is Husband Talk here on the Got What You Need Network. Thank you all. Peace.